This is a movie called Yin Yang Split. But I should warn you, this isn't some manifesto. This is just a story, so don't overreact. Secondly, do not act on what I'm reading in real life because it has dire consequences. Just enjoy the idea and the story, but never act on in real life. Back to the story, it starts with a nerd college schoolgirl that gets bullied and tried to resist her homicidal dark urges to kill her bullies. She writes about it in her private journal. One day she left her journal in class and a classmate found it and gave it to the principal. And he temporarily suspended her. She was sent to therapy, talk about her dark thoughts. She tells him everything that she tries to resist, her homicidal dark urges, describing it as bloodlust trigger happy, but deep down she knows it's wrong, that there are consequences if she acts out on it. But she knows it's a mindset of morality. She describes it as good and evil, clash inside her brain, internal conflict. The therapist just writes it down and says, "It seems you have psychopathic tendencies," he says. "Does writing it down in your journal keep you calm?" She says, "Yes." He says, "You seem to be a perfect subject." She responds, "Subject to what?" He says, "That's all the time we have." Gave her a note. Then he said, "This person is a great science. A bit on the mad side that does whiskey projects for the sake of discover and finding a cure to people with your condition." He didn't say much and walked away. She looked at the note and it gave an address. So she went to see the scientist, this giant science research building, funded by that, does risky projects for the sake of research and discovery and curiosity of curing. She found the guy named Lorenzo Cabot. She asking, "Are you Lorenzo?" "Yes, I am." She said, "I was told you will help people like me with my condition." He said, "Who told you that?" She said, "A therapist named Matt." He looked at her with a surprised look and said, "Came in." He said, "So you have psychopathic tendencies?" She said, "Yes." And she described what she told her therapist. "It looks extremely happy. I was looking for someone to try my research on." Research on what she said to get rid of psychopathic urges and bloodlust. Half of humanity that suffers on, like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and so on. I wanted to do my projects on prison inmates, on serial killers test subjects for true reformity, to get rid of the hormone inside the brain that causes it and cure it by removing it. She said, "Remove it," when said in a worried voice. "How? By surgically removing part of my brain? I don't think so. I thought I was sent here to be given antipsychotic medicine or something, or at least sleeping pills to make feel some sort of cum." Lorenzo said, "No, we're not going to remove your brain. You correlated removal. Wrong, we're going to remove the energy from the evil negative energy from your brain that makes a person half evil." He said, "Medicine doesn't work, and why you shouldn't rely on a substance that can lead to overdose or suicidal thoughts. And what happens if you can't afford to get any more? You're stuck dealing with your problems on your own, leading to you repeating the same mistakes people in the past, like serial killers, ended up repeating. Relying on medicine to close part of your brain is temporary. What I'm offering you is something that gets rid of the dark thoughts, something no matter what. In life, even if it involves bullying or uncontrolled urge to kill, would not make you do something you regret, something that will lead you in jail or dead by your own hands. It's something I'm trying to prevent." She said, "Why me? Why did you choose me for this?" I tried to choose inmates from prison, but the authorities said I'm not allowed to do experiments against the will that violates human rights. I needed to find truth. Psychopathic serial killers with urges, not those that are curious of killing later, regretting it, or those that kill for self-defense. I'm looking for people like you that have uncontrollable dark thoughts of harming others and feeling a feel-good, bloodless feeling they get when they kill, getting high on murder, even if they try to control themselves. There's a burning urge of rage that will not be quenched until they act on it. It seemed like his point convinced her, "Okay, I'll do it." That's when he got his camera out. She said, "Why you need a camera out? You're not going to do anything perverted or weird right now." He said, "This is out to guarantee my side story that did not manipulate you, or threaten you to do this. She said, "Okay, and calm down." That's when the camera starts rolling. She does a little turn to guarantee she's not AI and said, "I, Sasha, agreed to do this with my own free will." And the video ends. He said, "After the project, you will be nothing but a pacifist. You will feel enlightenment." She said, "What is the project called?" He said, "It's called Yin Yang Split." She said, "Yin Yang Split with confusion, like the symbol used in Chinese." Yeah, he said, "You're actually the first human I tried this on." Lorenzo showed Sasha the laboratory, and she saw the tank, and it's surprising how futuristic, well built it looks. This is the tank you're going to have to get in. You're going to have put a breathing mask on. While you're in tank, you're going to feel yin shock. Exorcism meaning that it's going to absorb all the evil psychopathic bloodlust energy from your brain. It will all be sucked and absorbed into this pod. But I should warn you, this could be deadly, but I try my best to make sure this doesn't come to that. So she got undressed, more her underwear and bra she had on, and stepped into the tank and put on her breathing mask on her mouth. And Lorenzo turned on the machine bubbles and shockwaves started happening. The Sasha was shaking from that for 50 seconds. And that's when Sasha opened her one. I was completely black. And the other was completely white, that when the black eye started fading to white. Then she passed up with her eyes closed and she knocked out. She woke up in the bed. The doctor arrived and told her, "I think it's a success. How do you feel?" He asked her that, and she responded, "Great, I'm extremely peaceful." And happy, Lorenzo said this put that to the test. He gave her a gun he asked to shoot one of the deers they have in the facility. She aimed her gun, but she couldn't do it. She didn't have the psychopathic bloodlust urge to kill. It's like something's holding her back. Morality. She put down the gun and started giving leaf and petting the deer. Gently, Lorenzo looked at the scene and started smiling. One step for Yang of enlightenment. She was back in college attending religious groups, ignoring her bullies, and started helping people. She never felt so happy. This lasted for a week, but something happened that turned this whole story upside down. Another piece of information, Lorenzo was withholding something that will cost the lives of a few people. The story is action-packed and comedy at the same time. Back to the science lab. The pod slowly opened, and a naked woman appears out of the steam, slowly walked out of the pod. The camera slowly moves up to her foot, to her face, and it shows Sasha smiling. Oh hell, it's about to break loose. Some backstory. The evil Sasha is now called Dasha,